and welcome back to Pod Popper's Place and another Team Tiny Hop. This month it's all about love, so search hashtag Team Tiny Love Hop 2022 to find all of the contributors on this month's hop. This month I am working with Hero Art's Window on Love confetti die. This background die is very intricate and cuts out a ton of little hearts that you can use in multiple ways. With it, I'm going to create 2 cards using 1 cut of the die. First, I cut out 2 A2 size sheets of heavy cardstock, and I do ink blending with Stampin' Up's water-based dye inks. The water-based inks don't always blend as well sometimes as the pigment inks or distress oxide inks. However, I really like how this turned out. I thought they did pretty well. I just have to be careful to make sure and tap off of my brush before I blend, because it is very easy to make big blotchy spots with these. Next, I use some metallic watercolors to splatter on my cardstock, and I use white, which just gives it a nice little shimmer, and then some turquoise green and also some yellow. I do occasionally use my splatter box to do this, but I wanted to be able to show you on camera, and also I'm kind of lazy sometimes just to get out my box. So you just have to make sure and clean up right after you're done. Otherwise the metallic paints especially can kind of stick to the glass mat. Then I added some double-sided adhesive sheet to the back of the cardstock, and I cut that out with a die, and I did run it through several times to make sure it cut completely through, because this is super heavy cardstock that I'm using. It's probably 120 weight. I just like how heavy it is so that it gives a nice solid foundation, especially for what I'm going to do with the rest of the card. And then I get out my Hero Arts background script die, and I haven't used this before. It's a new background die that I recently, or a stamp that I recently got, and I inked that up with the Brilliance Gold, and it's a pigment dye, so it is a little bit wetter, and I do have to, really get into it, get that impression really nicely on there, and I do need to set it aside to dry a little bit because it does stay wet for a little while. And as I'm trying to poke out the hearts from the die, I realized, because of this sticky background, and it is so sticky, it's not separating super well. So I'm kind of having to poke each heart out individually, and I just want to take apart the actual background die from the hearts. I want to leave the hearts where they're at, because I do want to use those to make one of my backgrounds. So popping these hearts out with the sticky background is quite painstaking, actually, and it took quite a bit of time and effort to do this, but I feel like in the end it turned out so pretty that I was okay spending the time to get this together. I'm also trying to be really careful and not lose any of the little pieces, because I do want a complete background using all of these, and I do lose, I think, 2 of the little just round dots that are in there, but they were in a place where you really didn't notice that they were missing. I cut out another piece of the die in the same heavyweight white cardstock, and I didn't color this at all, and I could use this again as another background for another card, but right now I'm just using it as a basically a puzzle piece to lay out all the little hearts that I just painstakingly cut out. As you can see, this is really like a little puzzle. I'm just trying to put everything back in where it came out of, and it takes quite a bit of time, and it is very sticky, so I had to move stuff around, and it's very important to make sure it's pressed down in the hole and not on top of the white cardstock, so that when I get all these in the place where they belong, then I will be able to lift the background up and leave just the hearts behind. I did speed this up quite a bit because it really did take a lot of time to do this, so I apologize if it's going a little too fast for you, but I didn't want you to sit here for the hour and a half or whatever it took me to do this. So just a little bit about Team Tiny. Be sure and hop by searching hashtag Team Tiny Love Hop 2022 to see all of the contributors. And it would be great if you subscribed, liked, commented on the videos. I don't believe that there is a giveaway this round, but we sure do appreciate when you watch, because we do put a lot of effort into making these cards and making these videos, and just sharing with you our love for crafting. Now I very carefully pull up the white cardstock background and just make sure that none of the hearts are popping up with it. And I had to fix a couple, but I thought it turned out beautiful. I love this background, and you'll see how I finish and complete that card a little bit later. So with the actual background part that I colored earlier, I add a heavy piece of acetate behind that because it is sticky. I can just pop that right on there. And then I cut out another actually, I think I used, yeah, I did. I used the white cardstock from earlier that I used as my puzzle manager. And then I also put a double-sided adhesive sheet behind that as well. So that's going to be my back side of this card. And I also am going to add a heavy piece of acetate to this one as well. So that's why I use the double-sided adhesive sheets on that, because it makes it really easy to stick that on and you don't have to worry about glue sliding around or anything. So, and then I do add a couple extra layers of the heavy-duty white cardstock cut out from the die again, and I just glue those on in between. So it was important to go around the heart in the center with the glue, and then around the edges. I did add some, in between and other places, but the most important parts were around the heart because I'm going to add some glitter in the little pocket I make, and then of course around the edges to keep the whole card together. So I try to clean that off as much as I can. A static powder that you put in to make it less staticky just leaves a film, and I always get frustrated with that. I don't know if that bothers anybody else, but it always bothers me when it leaves that little bit of powdery film behind. So I was just using a microfiber cloth to clean off that as much as possible, and then I add my glitter and close that up. So it's kind of a shaker card, but it doesn't really shake a lot. It wasn't a big hole to be able to add other pieces in, but the glitter worked great. And then I had two different love dies that I used, and I used the double-sided adhesive sheets again and cut those out in white cardstock twice to put on my cards. And then I added a gold layer on top of both of those, a gold glitter layer on top of both of those. And I just really love how these cards turned out. I just think they're beautiful, and it was worth the time that I put into them, but definitely going to be somebody special to get these for sure, with how much effort I put into them. So I hope you enjoyed this hop. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'd love to see if you have this die or get this die and make something with it, or try this technique and spend all this time making these as well. So let me know what you think in the comments. I would love to hear. And I did post some of the links to some of the products I used, the die and the background stamp from Hero Arts, and the gold pigment ink as well. So thanks so much for watching. Please come back again. Have a great day. Bye-bye.